Buenas tardes, bienvenidos a todos. En este espacio le agradecemos al señor Itai, Brujima Daim, bienvenido, Shalom. La UCEMA te recibe con los brazos abiertos. Pero agradecemos también a la Embajada de Israel, al Centro de Emprendedores de la Universidad de SEMA y la Cámara de Comercio Israelí por apoyarnos en este momento y lograr que este evento sea posible. Como todos saben, la innovación abierta, más en estos tiempos de cambios, blockchain, muchas tecnologías nuevas emergentes, están revolucionando el mundo y bueno, un poco ahora Itai nos va a comentar en su presentación qué está sucediendo y su visión. Él es una persona muy importante. También nos acompaña Sergio Nardini, director del Centro de Emprendedores, y nos acompaña Héctor Trabuco, director de Altura Ventures, también está con nosotros. Al presentarlo un poco a Itai, después Sergio los va a presentar más formalmente. Él es fundador y director de Innovación Israel y un hub de tecnología muy importante en dicho país. Así que damos pie a que comience.
Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Itai, and today we're going to speak about open innovation. Innovation or elimination? Innovate Israel is a consulting firm that helps big corporations, traditional businesses, to remain relevant in a time of chaotic change, of AI revolution, by collaborating with startups. You all know what's in common between the following brands that you see on the screen, right? All of them have been disrupted by new technologies. This was the headline of the Forbes not that many years back, in 2007. Nokia, 1 billion customers. Can anyone beat the cell phone king? And you know the answer, right? Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer, 6 months before launching the first iPhone, while Microsoft was a leader in the market, he gave a lecture, an interview, and this is what he said. Let's see. He probably regrets this interview, but this is an example of the arrogance of success. And if it happened to Microsoft at that time or to Nokia at that time, it can happen to any corporate, especially these days where everything, the pace of change is insane. It's really accelerating from one day to another. But we don't need to go back to 2007. This was the headline a bit less than 3 years back. Who could imagine that a startup is going to challenge Google? No one. And I really don't know whether OpenAI is going to be the Netflix of our time and Google will become the blockbuster of our time. I really don't know. What I do know is that it can happen to every corporate. Every corporate. And when you're asking the ChatGPT whether AI is going to replace us as individuals, the answer is very nice. The one that will replace us is not the AI, it's the one that knows how to use AI. Same with innovation. The one that will replace your corporate is another corporate that leverage innovation. Every client, every customer, every employee is looking into working or getting a service from companies like these that are relying on technology. Our goal is to become companies like these that are relying heavily on technology. The AI impact is everywhere, everywhere. All departments within the IT and finance and customer sales and operations and HR, marketing and legal and supply chain. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the fact that call centers are not going to be with us for many years. They will be replaced, and actually, as we speak, are being replaced by AI agents. Call centers in India, in other countries, service providers are not going to be with us for many years. They will be not going to be with us. And when you, as an individual, know the new AI tools, you make more money. That's not what I said. That's according to PwC research. We are living in a time of revolution. It's a true revolution. It is hard for me to explain my boys about my childhood without a smartphone. In a few years, we're not going to be able to explain how come we were living without AI. It's going to be quite the same. It's hard for us to explain, to understand, to realize how come people were living without electricity. It's the same. It's a true revolution with a huge impact all around. But as you've seen, it's not easy to convince a CEO of a big corporate that they have to change. Because we are speaking with, and you saw examples, like the CEO of Microsoft. It's difficult for tiny Itai, little Itai, to come up to Steve Ballmer and tell him, hey, you have to change. And he would probably tell me, hey, I'm running a successful corporate. I would do tomorrow what I used to do yesterday. It's enough. And that's a big no. Big no. It's not enough to do tomorrow what you've been doing yesterday. You have to change. Constantly change. Your competitors are changing. You cannot keep on doing tomorrow what was enough for you yesterday. You're not going to keep on succeeding. And that's the evidence of success. And the main challenge of open innovation is to overcome this challenge, to make decision makers, board members, C-level executives of corporates that are succeeding. Otherwise, they were not hiring, they wouldn't hire thousands of employees, to make them realize that they have to change. And the understanding of decision makers that they have to change is usually, thanks to crisis. Crisis motivates innovation. The best catalyst for change, for innovation, is a crisis. And it doesn't matter which crisis. It can be a crisis like the COVID. It can be a crisis like economical crisis or military crisis, whatever crisis. Any crisis catalyzes change. During the big recession of 2008, the Lehman Brothers crisis, these companies have been founded. During a crisis time, new companies are established because there are many talents without work, and they know the challenges and they come up with great ideas. And we don't need to wait 20 years or 15 years till we meet the entrepreneurs that founded startups during the COVID time. It's not going to take 15 years. And the reason it's not going to take 15 years is because we used to say that for the telephone of Graham Bell, it took 75 years to reach 50 million users. For Facebook, it took 3.5 years. You see this? How much time it took ChatGPT to reach 1 million? 5 days. While for Spotify, it took 5 months. To reach 100 million users, it took GPT 2 months, while for Spotify, it took 55 months. What I want to say here to you is that unlike the time of Graham Bell, the telephone, technology is not an obstacle anymore. It's an enabler. It allows you to move very fast. Technology is on the shelf. Just use it. The challenge is to execute, is to adopt the technology, not to develop it, to adopt the technology. That's the challenge of our time. And when you do that, it allows you to move very, very fast. And if you do not do that, take into consideration, assume that your competitor does it. This should be the assumption. Your competitor is not a jerk, it's not an idiot. They know what they do. If they do it before you do that, you are under threat, you're in trouble. So technology is here, we just need to use it. And the AI is going to have an impact everywhere. This is the most impactful technology, the AI, but also robotics. Robotics has a huge impact on many, many industries. And according to the World Economic Forum, the AI is going to create more jobs, new jobs, than the elimination of jobs. So in total, we're in a good position. So we're going to have new positions, new jobs, and of course, we're going to lose some. But in total, the market is going to grow. And there are going to be occupations that will become irrelevant, like cashiers, like building caretakers, like others, and other occupations are going to grow. Farm workers, light truck or delivery services drivers, etc. On the top of that crazy time that we're living at with the AI revolution, everything is moving that fast. McKinsey had a forecast before COVID, before the big crisis of the COVID. McKinsey had a forecast that by 2030, 50% of the occupations will become irrelevant. It was before COVID, before AI revolution. And 2030 is around the corner. During the COVID time, after a few months, I was publishing an article about the impact of a crisis on the market. This impact is relevant to a COVID crisis, but also to any other crisis. And what's clear now is that after a crisis, a lot looks different. We change habits. After the crisis ends, we're not getting back to old habits. For an example, if during the COVID time, we were buying a lot online, we bought the vegetables online, the grocery online. After the crisis ends, we're not going to get back to old habits to go to the supermarket. Same with getting service from service providers. If we got used to get it online, we're going to keep on getting it online. And when during the crisis, everyone were online, including clients, our grandma, our employees, everyone, then also after the crisis, we need to keep on engaging online. And crisis time is the best time to rethink how we can improve. And corporate people are smart. They know how they can make it better. But the main challenge is not to rethink, is to execute, is to make it happen, to change. That's most difficult for corporate people. That's the challenge. And during the COVID crisis, we saw that the more a corporate relies on technology, it is more flexible to handle crisis. And we're going to have more crises in the future. COVID was not a one-time event. There are many rude leaders around the world that would love to see us suffer again. So we need to get prepared. And getting prepared means to rely more on technology. Because with technology, we can keep on working. And of course, with technology, we can be more efficient. Of course. According to BCG, when they conducted the research globally, all around the world, 83% of leaders, corporate leaders around the world, name innovation as a top 3 priority. Over 85% are about to increase innovation budget. That's according to BCG. So where you need to plan your strategy for the years to come, take into consideration that your competitors are familiar with these numbers. It's not a secret, it's online. And this, I don't know how many of you saw it, but not that many leaders are brave enough to say that. But that's the truth. You can't ignore it. That's the truth. Now we need to handle it, but that's reality. Till 10, 15 years back, the leading methodology for a corporate to remain relevant was internal innovation. What is internal innovation? You gather the smartest people in the corporate into such an office for one day, brainstorming with each other, and at the end of the day, they take a decision what the corporate should develop in order to remain relevant. They get out of the office, they go to the CEO, ask for budget to hire people to develop internally something that will be ready in 3 to 5 years. That's internal innovation. Internal innovation in 2025 is a waste of money in 90% of the cases. But even if you have endless amount of money, it's not only a waste of money, it's a waste of time. And time we cannot buy. Time is not a matter of resource or money. And your clients are expecting new product, new service, new solution tomorrow, not in 3 years from now. They are impatient. And if your competitor understands what I say now, you will become irrelevant in a very short time. Always take into consideration that your competitors are smart. So open innovation, external innovation, is exactly the opposite of internal innovation. And this is the most important slide in my lecture. The understanding of this is very important. Most of the smartest people are not working for you. I didn't say your employees are not smart. Most of the smartest people around the world are not working for your company, not for Facebook Meta, not for Google, not for Amazon, not for OpenAI, not for the FBI, not for the Mossad. There are not, most of the smartest people always work for someone else. We are in the academy. In the first class of statistics, you learn this. You cannot hire them all. It's a matter of statistics. You can't hire most of the smartest people. Now, if you agree with that, and it's a matter of statistics, you can't really argue with it. You can just feel comfortable that you cannot hire and Facebook cannot hire. I mean, that's the only thing. Once you realize that, you need to ask yourself, where are the smartest people? The smartest people are in the academy, in other companies, and in startups. And once you realize they are not working for you, and they're working for these 3 places, the main challenge for a corporate in 2025 to remain relevant is to collaborate with these smart people. As simple as that. The main challenge for you to remain relevant is to collaborate with startups, in most cases. To collaborate with startups. That's the challenge. That's open innovation. That's external innovation. And that's actually the only way, effective way, to remain relevant with a low risk and great ROI. I don't know a better methodology. I really don't know. Do you know what's in common between these brands and these brands? All these brands are Israeli unicorns that we are very proud of. Each and every company here, and you're familiar with many of them, has a great impact globally. We deliver good to the world. These companies deliver a lot of good to the world. Do you know what's in common between these brands? I never got such a fast, accurate answer to this question. This is a very difficult question, but that's right. Listen to the number. Over 500 giants, multinational corporations are running open innovation in Israel. The reason they do it is not because they are led by Jews, is not because they love Israel. Some of them do, some of them don't. But for them to decide to have a strong presence in Israel, to run open innovation, to look for startups, is a business decision. And the reason they do it is one, they are afraid. They are afraid to lose the business. They are afraid that their competitor is going to put their hand on the next wave or the next fiber or the next checkpoint before they do it. That's the reason they come to Israel. And we are lucky, Israelis, we are lucky, very lucky, to learn from these 500 giants how to run innovation in a proper and valuable way. That's all. We are lucky to learn from their best practices how to make it happen. And I will take the time in this lecture to deliver you the main ideas and the core of this know-how. So after this lecture, you'll be able to go to your company and start executing. In Israel, there is one startup per 1,400 people. Just to compare, in Europe, it's one per 20,000. There is a lot of available investment per capita, a lot higher than in other places. And the main challenge for your corporate these days is to turn your corporate door into the first one an entrepreneur is knocking on with a relevant solution to your challenges. You want startups, entrepreneurs globally to knock on your door before they knock on your competitor door. That's the whole story. You have to make your door like a magnet for entrepreneurs because you wouldn't want to be in a position to select before your competitor selects. And in order to turn your door to the most attractive one within the ecosystem, you have to do it to run innovation in a proper way. And it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. You just need to do it in the right state of mind. And I'll share with you some ideas how to make it happen. When we are asking the 500 multinationals for the reason they run open innovation in Israel or in general, their answer is straight to the point. They tell you, our competitors know business development, they know business strategy, they create great strategic plans, they run M&A as well, The only way for our corporate to create an edge, an added value comparing to competitors is by innovating with startups. That's the only way for them to create the gap. And when you're asking them, what are you looking for? Whether you're looking for to improve the innovation culture, ROI, acquiring R&D assets, no, the answer is to develop the core business of the company. That's the reason they run innovation with startups. And the main challenge for them is to overcome the cultural gap between a corporate, traditional business, and a startup. That's what I do. I help to create the bridge between the corporate and the startup. In Israel, the ecosystem is very unique. There are many reasons. If you want to know about the reasons, you can read this book. I just saw it, so I allow myself, you can read this book. I didn't write it. I have another book, it will be published in the first quarter of 26. But you can see here all the reasons. IDF, the army, the culture, many reasons. According to my point of view, there are many great ecosystems around the world. Many, including in Argentina. But what makes Israel very unique is the fact that even competitors collaborate. Due to the culture, all these ecosystem players, entrepreneurs, foreign companies, investors, VCs, universities, everyone share. Not secrets, they're not idiots, but not secrets, but they share. And once you share, ecosystem moves faster. If you would like, during the Q&A, I'll give you some examples, but I would like to proceed. When you're looking to learn about the ecosystem in Israel, what's available out there, all you need to do is to go to either ChatGPT or Google. By the way, I have a question for you. How do you search first? By Google or by OpenAI, ChatGPT or alike? By AI or by Google? How many of you are searching first with Google? How many of you are searching first with AI? 50-50. I was asking this question 3 months back in high school in Israel to 10th grade students. The answer was 100% AI. Google is in trouble. They're very young. They have many years to search. So that's a trend. Although Google are giving a fight, for sure. But yet, when you're looking for what's out there in Israel, all you need to do is to go to either Google or AI and ask for ecosystem, map, Israel, and the domain that you're looking for. And then you're going to get a map like this with tiny logos of startups that are the most leading one within a specific domain. This is what you get for healthcare, digital healthcare. This is what you get for cyber. These are only the leading one. This is digital marketing. This is for energy technology, IoT, fintech, insurtech, retail, travel tech, startups that helps to combat the COVID-19, agriculture, Gen AI, AI. These are the leading Israeli startups in the AI domain. I didn't hear wow. Either you say wow or fantastico. But if you're not saying either wow or fantastico, we can proceed to the next slide. Because you have to agree that this is impressive. We are living in a time of AI revolution, and this is what Israel has to offer to the world. By the way, in South Brazil, they don't say wow. You know what they say? They say bah. You know that? Yeah. They say bah around the Porto Alegre. So with startups, so wait, how many are saying wow? Wow. How many are saying fantastico? Fantastic. Wow, there was more ones. Anyway, a startup approach corporate, they're looking into running a pilot, a POC, a proof of concept. And they want to become a design partner with a corporate. And it is very, very valuable for your corporate to pilot with startups. There is a risk, but there is more potential than risk. Because if the pilot would be a success, you will have the best cutting-edge technology before your competitor. You're going to have a solution to a concrete challenge, to a concrete pain point before your competitor for a very attractive price. So being the first one to engage with a startup is with a lot of potential, much more than risk. Take it, take this opportunity. And I want to tell you a secret. My clients are corporates all around the world. And when they have a successful pilot with a startup that they're going to engage with for years from now, they're going to integrate technology because the startup solves a pain for them, but this startup can solve the pain for thousands of companies around the world because everyone faces the same pain. They also invest. And once they invest in a startup that solves their pain, they make a lot of money. Because they are in a much better position to run a due diligence on a startup. A pilot of a corporate on a startup is by far better due diligence than any VC or investor can do in a startup. So the risk is by far lower. So the opportunity collaborating with the startup is first to implement cutting-edge technology before competitors do so. But also there is an equity opportunity to make money. So how to do it right? How to get married with a startup in the proper way? I was publishing an article a few years back with 10 concrete tips how to run open innovation in the right way. I will share with you fast the 10 tips. The first tip, true commitment from C-level executives, from board members. Innovation is a top-down, it's not bottom-up. If the C-level, if decision makers are not engaged, nothing is going to happen. It's a waste of time. Don't do it. So the first thing is to engage decision makers, to make them understand what is open innovation, why they have to do it, and how to do it. Otherwise, if they don't know, they will lose the business to competitors. But they're smart people. So all you need to do is to train them, to educate. They will do it. It is very important to have in every board at least one with strong experience in technology and innovation. Otherwise, you're in trouble. When you have it, when the C-level executives are engaged, the valuation of the company is higher than its competitors. Analysts prefer to invest in companies that are innovating with startups rather than in companies that are not. That's according to BCG. The valuation is higher when you run innovation. In Israel, it is mandatory by law to have board member, at least one, in each and every bank board with solid experience in technology and innovation. It is mandatory, but you don't need to wait for the regulator to make you do it. I mean, don't wait. Just bring someone that understands what's going on in this crazy world. Because when you have such a board member, suddenly the discussions within the board become relevant to our time. Otherwise, they're not. That's the idea behind nominating Instagram CEO to Walmart traditional board. According to MIT, when you have 3 board members with strong experience in innovation technology, the bottom line performance of your company is better than competitors, according to MIT. Do you know what's the average age of board members in SAP 500? 60. Only 2% of board members below the age of 55. That's not diversity. So you have to have diversity with respect to professional background. So you have people with relevant knowledge within tech, AI, innovation, but also have diversity with respect to age. Like you have, hopefully, diversity with respect to gender. It is very, very important to get different perspectives. When you have it, such diversity, you suddenly have time dedicated in board meetings to innovation, allocating budget, planning, reviewing, meeting entrepreneurs, sharing with investors. You have it. Tip number 2, in each and every company have one who is the single point of contact for innovation. One that startups knows to knock on its door when they have something to offer. One, not 30 people, one. Tip number 3, share your corporate challenges with the ecosystem. In many cases, corporates are not sharing because they're afraid the competitors would know what are their challenges. I want to tell you a secret. Your competitor has the same challenges like you. The challenge is to execute faster than competitor. That's the challenge. So share your challenges. When you share your challenges with the tech ecosystem, with the entrepreneurs, the magic happens. Entrepreneurs would come because entrepreneurs, when they learn about the challenge, they come out with the solution. But there is another magic. When entrepreneurs are not familiar with challenges, with your challenges, they're not coming. Tip number 4, 2 types of people in each company. Those with the fear of missing out, open-minded, looking to collaborate with startups, are not motivated by ego. These are the people to hire. These are the people to promote. The opposite are those with the NIH syndrome, not invented here. People, decision makers, in many cases CTOs, PPR&D, that are motivated only by one thing, their ego. These people are the ones to get rid of and not to hire people like this. These people risk the future of your business. I have many stories about it. Maybe we can discuss it later. So I'll give you some examples, but I want to move to the next slide. Tip number 5, when you meet a startup, be available for them 24/7. When a startup messaged me during the weekend, they expect me to get back to them immediately, not on Monday. That's the state of mind of entrepreneurs. So if you want to engage with entrepreneurs, you have to discuss with them according to their lingo, according to their culture, according to their expectations. They are not going to adopt the culture of the corporate. It's not going to happen. You want to work with the startups, speak the startup lingo. Don't explain the startup. They have to be patient because you are a slow corporate. It's not going to happen. They will cross the road and work with your competitor. And when you work with the startup, when you meet the startup, always try to think positively. Why what they just presented to you is good for you. Come with a positive state of mind. Think why yes, not for excuses not to collaborate with the startups. If you will meet an entrepreneur and every time you're going to look for excuses why not to work with a startup, your corporate chart is going to look like that. You prefer your competitor chart to look like that, not your company chart. Tip number 6, treat startups like partners with respect. They might be your partners. A startup is not a supplier. A toilet paper supplier is a supplier. A startup is a partner. They might be the difference between your success to losing your business. Treat them like partners. By the way, we used to say that there are 6 degrees of separation between two. So if I would like to know someone like you in China, I will approach you on LinkedIn, and you will approach a friend of a friend of a friend, 6 degrees, like I would be able to be introduced to your colleague in China. These days, between the two of us, there is maximum 1 person. No 6 degrees of separation. The world is flat. The reason I mention is because if your company is running innovation in a proper way, everyone is going to know about it like that. Because everyone knows everyone. But if you're going to run innovation in a poor way, everyone is going to know about it as well very fast. So if you run innovation, do it in a proper way. Otherwise, don't do it, because you harm your company reputation. And to build it again takes a lot of money. Tip number 7, budget. Yes, you need budget in order to engage with startups. No, it's not a lot of money. In order to run a pilot with a startup, it might cost you a few thousands of euros. Not a lot of money. It's a matter of state of mind, not a matter of money. I want to tell you something. In Israel, or any corporate that I work with, when I meet a startup with my clients, and the startup offers us a pilot for free, and we are interested to run a pilot with this company because they potentially solve a pain. They offer a pilot for free. You take it or leave it. They solve you a pain. You want to work with them. You want to run a pilot with a startup. They offer you a pilot for free. Take it or leave it. Take it. Someone offers you a pilot for free. You take it or leave it. Who says take it? Who says leave it? For my clients, the answer is leave it. We insist to pay. And not, I told you, Israelis are crazy. Entrepreneur has just offered us a pilot for free. The answer, which I recommend you to give to the startup, is no way. That's not a volunteering issue. That's business. I cannot expect you as an entrepreneur to do something for free for me. I insist to pay you. The entrepreneur is going to be in shock, amazed. And we insist to pay 5,000 euro, 10,000 euro for a pilot. You know what happens the moment the entrepreneur leaves the office? She or he messages in a WhatsApp group of entrepreneurs, you can't believe it. I just met an Argentinian bank. I offered them a pilot for free. They insisted to pay. What happens a second later? Everybody knocks on the door. Everyone, all entrepreneurs, because everyone knows everyone. Entrepreneurs are living in communities of WhatsApp groups. They message to each other in a second. I don't know a better marketing budget for innovation. Tip number 8, you want to get equity in a startup, pay for it, not for free. Tip number 9, oh, that's tip number 9. Tip number 8, don't measure the success of innovation in the first couple of years by return on investment. That's a huge mistake of corporate decision makers. They measure success of innovation by ROI. Huge mistake. In the first couple of years, your goal is to run as many pilots as possible across the company, within all units, including HR, finance, procurement, and all around. Because with innovation, with running pilots with startups, you can change the culture of your corporate into a relevant one. As of the 3rd year on, measure it by ROI. But in the first couple of years, It's a big mistake. Tip number 10, the last one, minimize bureaucracy. You can do it. You can run innovation bootcamp with the legal department and make them learn about what innovation is. Make them engage with legal tech startups. And you will see the magic happens. They will reduce the level of bureaucracy. I've been doing it with many of my clients, it happens. Lawyers are not bad people. They just don't know what innovation is. Once they know, they change their habits. They take risks more than before. The main way to measure success of innovation is by number of pilots and the portion of pilots that are a success and turn to full implementation. Usually, we talk about 10 to 30% of pilots that are succeeding. With my clients, it's 70. The reason is because I put a lot of effort into engaging the corporate decision makers and mid-level management into the process. I run innovation lectures and innovation bootcamps across the company. I make all departments learn about it and pilot with startups. Once you do it in 6 months, in 12 months, all the corporate is different. It's much more relevant to our time. There are many ways to measure innovation, but that's another 1 hour lecture, so I'm not going to do it now. I want to conclude, and I'm going to leave time for questions. Crisis, any crisis, together with AI revolution, is a huge opportunity for your corporates. Take the best out of it. Leverage it. Crisis is the opportunity. Together with AI revolution, it's a huge opportunity. Take into consideration that your competitors know it as well. So the challenge is to execute, is to collaborate with startups and make it happen. I want to conclude with a gift. In Israel, once we come to a new place and meet new people, we come with a gift. So I came with a gift. How many of you invest in stocks, in the stock exchange? Even a little bit of money. How do you take a decision whether to invest in a certain stock or not? I bet that most of you are not truly reviewing the quarterly reviews of the companies. I bet you don't have the time. Imagine that you're going to have a personal assistant, an analyst, that would review 50,000 shares, 50,000 stocks globally and tell you whether to buy or not. This is what Bridgewise does. I was asking them to provide you with a free username and password for the coming week, just for you to make more money, to see whether you are invested in the right stocks. So they scan this QR. It's a WhatsApp group. I will share their username and password for you to try this tool, this AI tool, and hopefully it's going to help you to invest in the right stocks according to their recommendations. This technology is already offered to Israeli clients of some banks as an assistance to make them do the right decision. Thank you very much. You're more than welcome to message me. You're more than welcome to message me. This is my WhatsApp. This is my number. I always tell, don't call. The reason not to call, even when my mom calls me, I answer, what happened? Because these days, we all message, right? So you can call, and you can message any idea, anything. I promise you to get back to you really fast. So feel free, and I'm here available now.
Yes, thank you, Itai.
I will share once we finish the Q&A. I will share with you the username and password. Don't worry.
Let's start with the Q&A. Thank you
Sure.
for your time, for your valuable insights that you gave us in this lecture, and we will be in charge. Well, all the people, la gente que está en el Zoom, también puede obviamente participar de las preguntas del Q&A, los que están aquí presentes, por supuesto, también, a disfrutar. Bueno, la verdad que es un honor. It's an honor to have your presence here. Well, ok, estamos acá para escuchar preguntas de Itai. No sé quién quiere iniciar. I have a question, maybe an icebreaker. Could it be possible for an SME and a corporation to use open innovation, or it's only, let's say, a method for large corporations? What do you think about that?
I think that the smaller you are, the opportunity is bigger.
Okay.
Because the slower you are, you're much more able to adopt change. When you are a bank with 50,000 employees, it's quite a challenge to adopt new innovation. But when you are not the first player or the second player, you are the 10th player, you are the smaller one in the market, the smallest one, your opportunity is bigger. You can become a much significant player thanks to adopting innovation faster than the old players. So I see the opportunity all around, not necessarily for the giants. With the right technology, you can threaten the position of the leader. I'll give you an example. I told you about it in our previous meeting, so sorry, I'm going to repeat it. In June, I was pitching 3,000 people in Gramado, in Brazil. I was on stage telling them about a single entrepreneur that started his venture 6 months before. What is the startup all about? Called Base 44. The startup with one employee. They allow us to create, to launch a new website or a mobile application with a single prompt. In a few seconds, before this technology, let's say 6 months back, in order to build a new website, we would hire a technical person, a content provider, designer. It takes weeks, months, thousands of dollars. He makes it with a prompt. In seconds, I was standing on stage and told them, listen, this guy threatens Wix, 5,000 employees, also Israeli. Wix and the like, companies like this. So I told them, they have no other option. They have to buy him. A month later, after the guy hired 5 employees, Wix acquired him for $80 million. Single entrepreneur that was able to leverage Gen AI for the right purpose, for the right product, in the right time, single 5,000 people. Otherwise, these 5,000 people would be looking for another job. So we just need to find the one. And more important, we need to make our company be able to engage with this one. Because to find the one is easy. Trust me, it's easy. The main challenge is to engage.
We have a question from the Zoom.
Yeah, sure. How many people we have on there?
Now 17.
70. Okay.
The question is, what was the name of the last startup you mentioned about stocks?
Oh, Bridgewise. I'm gonna share on the WhatsApp group the link, the username, and the password. I can share it now, but then you're not gonna listen to me. So you're just gonna look whether you are in the right stock. So yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
how do you convince the most traditional big companies, very conservative, not open to innovation, to change their mind? And how do you do it? It's very difficult, but thanks to Gen AI, it's easier. Because in the last 3 years, almost, even traditional managers, traditional decision makers realize that everything changed very fast. They realize they're not stupid. I mean, they're leading companies. If they were stupid, they wouldn't lead companies. With the Gen AI, it's easier because they see the impact. They see it happens all around. So they listen and accept what I tell them. And I tell them the truth. I tell them that if you will not run open innovation, if you will not collaborate with startups, you will become irrelevant in very short time. That's truth. That's the truth. And I tell them openly, even if you are a bank, you have endless amount of money, you don't have the time. That's all. You can't buy time. Your clients expect you to provide them with the best service, product, etc., and to be most efficient. Today, no one is going to wait for you to develop something internally that's going to take 3 years and cost you a fortune. But even if it costs nothing, no one is going to wait. That's all. And this convinced them. This convinced them. They have no other option. Otherwise, they can start M&A, selling themselves for a lower amount of money. No, really no. So truly, that's what I believe, and I give them examples. I mean, you saw Microsoft, you saw Nokia, you saw Google. Who could imagine one is going to challenge Google? And again, Google has good products, but they are under true disruption.
You show us some innovation ecosystem from Israel. Do you think that it's possible to replay in Argentina to make something like that in order to overcome?
I think it is. In Israel, it was not a magic. It's not a miracle. Someone had to do something in order to make it happen. At that time, it was the government. The government realized that in order to turn Israel into a startup nation, they need to share the risk with investors. So for any investor to put money in Israeli startup, the government shared the risk with the investor. And in many cases, the government took all or most of the risk. So in case the investment was good, the investor would take it all. In case it was a failure, the government took it all. The government truly believed in the entrepreneurs. This is one way to do it. Another way to do it is to make the corporates in Argentina open-minded and engaged to innovation. For an example, imagine that the government would create a regulation like in Israel, that in every corporate with 500 employees and more, there is going to be one board member with strong experience in technology innovation. It will happen. At the beginning, those corporates will engage with startups, either Argentinian or others from other countries. But in a few years later, you are going to have all entrepreneurs in Argentina. So it can come from either way. So I think it is possible, for sure. It is possible. And this idea of regulation is very simple. It doesn't require the government or the parliament to put money. It's just a state of mind. Do it. It will send a signal to the market globally that Argentina is the place to make business.
Thank you for taking my question.
I can hear you.
My name is Pablo Boricano. My question is how we as individual professionals could take leverage on AI for our professions, if you have specific ideas there, because of course probably we can try to take our corpus to be there, but of course that's not a decision only for us. But in our case, we are in complete decision of ourselves. Probably.
It's individuals, you ask it's individual or in a specific department?
Only both, but we I think I have also interest in my individual progress as a professional, let's say.
What's your profession?
Investor relations, finances, product finances.
So every day we meet a new idea or a new startup or a new technology or a new platform. It's very difficult. What I would recommend is to, in order to follow all these changes, is to join kind of groups of people like you that are interested in a certain domain. So if you are in marketing, if you're in IR, if you're in finance, if you're any domain, try to be a part of a community that are sharing know-how. In Israel, we have many like this. I guess that if you look for it, you'll find in Argentina as well. And just to try. I always tell people, you have to try new tools constantly that are related to your business. For example, are you familiar with Notebook LM? Excellent. Are you familiar with DID? D minus ID. Anyway, there are certain platforms that are leading the market, like Base 44, the one that I just told you about. We have to try all these new tools all the time. In many cases, what I tell the audience is to, once they learn about or hear about new technology, tell their kids about this technology, make their kids try it first, and then make the kids teach us. It's a win-win. My kids are exposed to new technology, and they teach me faster than I would learn by myself. That's the magic. So constantly ask GPT what kind of new tools are relevant to IR, what kind of new tools are threatening my job, which tools do you recommend me to get familiar with, to be familiar with, to learn, to collaborate with. We can't close our eyes. We have to be open to what's out there. It's very important. Yes, please.
Just expanding a little bit on what you said earlier, how does it play the culture of the country in adopting rules? And also in the corporate, the culture of the corporation, the paradigms.
So culture is absolutely important. I agree. It's important. In Israel, I told you, people are very much open. Collaboration, it helps people to move faster, companies to move faster. But it's not the case to say that if Argentina is different, they can't do it. Of course you can do it. I mean, there are ecosystems, good ones, in Berlin, and Germans have completely different culture than Israelis. There is an ecosystem in Singapore, a good one, in Silicon Valley, in Brazil, in Argentina. There are great ecosystems. I think that personally, according to 10 years of experience with open innovation, I think the challenge is to engage decision makers. Once you engage corporate decision makers, board members, and C-level executives, once you do it, you're overcoming this challenge, the culture will be changed. You'll be able to change the culture of the company. With open innovation, as I told you, during the first couple of years, the challenge is to have as many pilots as possible across the company. This would allow you to change, to update the culture of the company, to be more open to innovation, to be more open to new ideas, to be more open to adopt innovation, to adopt startups. So I think really this is where the challenge lies. If you are able to train your board, C-level executives, you will be able to update the DNA of the company, to change the culture. So in many cases, the one to lead it at the beginning is the HR department. They have training budgets. They have training budget. Make them put the budget into training innovation. Yes, please.
Can you please explain or further explain about that, how HR can lead this kind of innovation? I mean, in learning and development, so
Running learning?
Yes.
Excellent. In a company, big company or small?
I'm consulting right now. Yeah.
Excellent. You consult to big corporates?
To a variety of clients.
Okay. They have training budget.
They should, yeah.
Make them train the people with this budget. Suddenly there is a budget. It's not an issue. By the way, it's not a lot of money, but it's a relevant budget because their challenge is to update the DNA of the company. You can't keep on in 2025 with the same DNA of 2024. We are living in a different time. The pace of change is insane. It's really rapid change. So make them allocate the budget for training the corporate people. Board, C-level, and all VPs with their mid-level management. That's the way. You can start with an innovation bootcamp to the HR department. I'll give you an idea. There are many great technologies that improve the HR work. Hiring, keeping the people, and all the training, all the stuff. Create a bootcamp, innovation bootcamp. What is an innovation bootcamp? That's what I do with my clients. I run it across all divisions. Let's take HR as an example. I meet the VP HR. She or he tells me what their challenges are, 3 challenges. After 1 week, I come back to them with a list of 50 startups, HR tech startups that solve their pains, 3 challenges. They tell me which out of the 50 are the most relevant ones, the most interesting ones. We meet the VP HR with its people, with their people, for 1 day long, all day. It starts with this lecture or a similar one to engage them. And then 10 startups are getting into the office to pitch to the HR department, decision makers, one after the other. 30 minutes each, 10 startups, half an hour each, 10 minutes pitch, 20 minutes, open conversation, Q&A, just to discuss a potential pilot. At the end of the day, the HR department or any department will decide with which out of the 10 they want to proceed to a second meeting. You know what's the average number? With how many startups out of the 10 startups they just met, they want to proceed to a second meeting? How many? On average. 1? She says 1. Who says 2? 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. Who says more? 7. With 7 out of the 10 startups, they want to proceed to second meeting. According to my experience, that's the best way to catalyze the change. Run as many bootcamps like this across the company, finance, procurement, HR, business units. The magic would happen in 6 months. In 6 months. Imagine 1 pilot per division, per unit. That's all you need. Out of the 7, you need 1, 2, 3 pilots the most. Once you do it, The corporate is completely different. They start speaking a different lingo. The tech lingo, the innovation lingo.
Excellent. Let's last question, maybe. Someone.
There is one last question.
Yes, please.
Which are the top 3 challenges for corporates working with startups?
The top 3 challenges?
Yeah, the top 3.
There is one challenge. To be open to startups. That's the challenge. Truly. To engage the corporate people. This is my job. This is where my challenge is. To make my clients engage with startups. Once they do it, they can't stop it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bueno, muchas gracias a todos. Los seguimos invitando a los eventos. Primero, muchas gracias a la embajada de Israel, a todo el equipo. Obviamente, nuevamente, thank you very much for your time. Gracias, Héctor, también por estar aquí en Buenos Aires, también con tu presencia. Gracias, Iván. Gracias, Santi, también por tu gran apoyo. Y bueno, los seguimos invitando para que sigan viendo los eventos de UCEMA Emprende y a todas las actividades que estamos haciendo en el Centro de Emprendedores e Innovación de UCEMA. Gracias, Javier, que acá te estoy viendo también. Un placer verte también. Bueno, un aplauso. Gracias a todos.